Hi friends, and welcome to day 28 of the Inktober Tangle Challenge for 2025. I'm Martha, your certified Zentangle teacher, and today we are going to be exploring the Quandary Tangle. As always, I'll be showing you two different variations of the tangle. So we'll start simple, and then we will go on to something a little bit more elaborate. It's going to be a fun one. So let's get started. For me, the Quandary Tangle was pretty tricky the first few times that I tried it. Kind of the basic premise of it is you're drawing little triangles using these little seed shapes, which are not connected. So they're just kind of floating near each other. So I've drawn two little seeds, and now I've drawn a third, and you can see that kind of triangle happening. And then you build off those seeds and you keep making triangles. Okay, so there's another one. So you're just constantly turning and looking for seeds. And I'm going to talk to you about another little trick I use to kind of help my brain see a pattern here. So look how I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 6 little seeds that make up what I call the flowers of the Quandary Tangle. So I know that it's about triangles, but for me, being able to see that little flower there with the the 6 petals helps me kind of, what is the best way to say? I'm able to keep growing this tangle. Otherwise, to me, it just looks like a bunch of seed shapes scattered across a page. I need some sort of organization to see this tangle. So now that I have these 6 and have this flower, I'm building triangles off the sides of it. And so here we go again. Let's see, I have 4, and now I'm going to add a 5th. And then there's a triangle. But then I'm going to add that 6th flower petal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have my little flower. And that's just easier for me to see and kind of keep things in order, if you will. Again, I think this is a beautiful tangle. It just takes a minute to get comfortable with it. I remember going through a lot of tiles when I first started trying to figure it out. So just be patient with yourself, and maybe you'll come up with another trick that helps you see some organization to it, that helps you kind of get things down in a unchaotic fashion. And tangling is not supposed to be chaotic, but it doesn't mean it's not frustrating sometimes when you're looking at your drawing and it's just not lining up with what you're seeing on another directive. So I'm just going to fill in a few more here. I'm not going to cover the page. It does look really lovely to cover the page, but I kind of like that it's just kind of half finished. Next, I'm coming in the middle of those 6 seeds and filling in a little orb, and then filling between those seeds with triangles. So I'm just auraing inside of those seeds. So count 6, find that center, add a little orb, and then aura inside of the triangles. The shading on this tangle is what really makes it, I think, come to life. And so what I'm doing here is just adding some graphite around those black orbs in the center of those little flowers. And that is a very basic version of the Quandry Tangle. For the variation of this tangle, I'm using a Renaissance Zentangle tile and a blue Pigma Micron pin in a size 8. And I'm making these seed shapes have a little bit more of a point on the ends of them instead of being round like the first tile that I showed you all. So I'm doing that set of 3 in a triangle shape, kind of. You can see the triangle in the middle between them. But the shape of the seeds is more like an eye or a football, an American football, if you will. So there's another set of 3. And I'm just going around, and you know what I'm going to try to do here is just make my flower. So now I have 4 petals on my flower, but then I do the triangle. So it's like I'm thinking about the flower before I'm thinking about the little pods of 3 that make the triangles. And yes, this is quite large because I just wanted to explore something different. Sometimes you just need a break from the tiny. Just want to draw big. For the next part, I've switched to a brown pen. I think it was an 05 size because I didn't have any 08s. But I'm drawing with it these little ladybugs or little semicircles. So one on each side, and of course, drawing what I can see. Sometimes they're going to go off the page. Probably could have made that one a little bigger, but and also these are pretty large too, so we're really filling up this tile. And now I'm filling each one of those in with the brown ink. And I got kind of scared there for a minute that I was going to run out of ink. My two 05 pens that I had left are on their last legs, so grateful that I was able to make it through the video. And now back to the seeds. I'm adding another seed inside. So I'm adding an aura inside of that seed shape or football shape or eye shape, however you're recognizing it, and just adding a thin aura that starts at the top and goes to the other side. Inside each of those kind of inner seeds that are there now, I'm adding a set of orbs. I'm starting in the middle, pretty large, and then extending all the way out to the corners, just getting smaller. And now I'm adding some ink in those little crevices around those orbs. So just those little spaces on those outside edges, just filling them in with solid ink. For the kind of the negative space or the background, if you will, I've gotten my white Jelly Roll pen in a size 10, and I am drawing spirals. So I'm doing the Printemps tangle. This is a tangle that most of us learned in our first Zentangle class. We probably all drew it on our first Zentangle tile. It is a classic Zentangle tangle, and I think it's great for filling in backgrounds and negative space on tiles. So I'm just filling in the tile, and a lot of times when I do this tangle I have a variety of sizes, but you know, I started to realize that most of mine were the same size, and I ended up kind of liking it. So you know, if you want to do a variety, do a variety. If you want to kind of stick to the same size, do that. Whatever you like. I'm adding a few different colors for the shading, and I'm starting with this dark blue color, and I'm going to be adding it in the center of those flowers. So where those 6 petals come together, I'm going to make a blue orb in between them. And now the tortillon is just really blending that chalk into the paper, and it just is making everything glow. And I love how the white ink shows through. There's something about it I just think is really lovely. So I'm switching over to this sanguine color, which is like a red, brown, terracotta color, and I'm drawing triangles with it. So, you know, remember this tangle, the Quandry tangle, is about 3 little seed shapes that are drawn in a triangular form. So what I'm doing now is adding this triangle, this chalk, in a triangle shape in between 3 of these little seed, or they're big seed pods on this one. But kind of like bringing back those triangles. This variation is very much about the 6 seeds coming together to make a flower shape, flower design. But the beginnings of this tangle has always been about a little triangle. And now, of course, I am blending it in with the tortillon. And you'll notice that I color my tortillons. If you are new to tangling, this is something that was taught to me by my first Zentangle teachers, to mark my tortillons so that they don't mix. And so I dedicate a tortillon to each of the different chalk pencils that I have. I went a little overboard marking this tortillon, but it's okay. Coming in now with white charcoal and adding a little bit of a highlight on all the orbs that are in each of those little seed pods, little seed shapes. And I'm just adding a little bit of a curve. I'm not filling them completely in, just a little highlight on the side. And now I'm softening that up with the tortillon. It just blends so nicely to really round out these little orbs, or actually they're big orbs. And then a last minute decision I made here was to add a little bit more of the blue charcoal. I felt like the sides of the seeds were a little empty, so I wanted to add a little charcoal to them. I'm not adding a lot here, just a really light, um, really light marking at the ends of them, the points of the seeds. And now using this tortillon to blend in that chalk all along the sides of those seed pods, those seed shapes. And that, my friends, is a wrap on the Quandry Tangle. Well, a variation of it. So we are on day 28. We only have a few more days left in this Inktober. It has been such a fun journey. And I just wanted to let you know that I have something new planned for November. I just dropped a little video earlier today about my plan for next month, and I hope that you're going to be able to join me for that too. It'll be a little different, but um, a lot of fun. So thank you again for watching. Thank you always for supporting me, subscribing, and I look forward to drawing along with you again tomorrow. Have a good one.